My father chose to have a medically assisted death. He died on November 6 last year. The process to access assisted dying was not straightforward. My mother, who was devastated by his decision but understood it, had to initiate the process and find the doctors and nurses with the right training. Because this service was not offered by the palliative care facility where he was, she had to find people who were willing to attend from other facilities. And then, of course, Dad had to go through all the interviews, the paperwork, and the cooling-off period. At each stage, the medical practitioners tried to dissuade him from proceeding. The reality is that only people as comfortable with administrative paperwork and as determined to work through complicated logistics, arranging in-person meetings, multiple in-person meetings, and so on, setbacks, as my well-educated middle-class parents could have made that happen. When the doctor arrived, he gave what he called his butter chicken speech. "Hello, Mr. Slater, I see you're here with your family. That's lovely. We don't have to do this today, Mr. Slater. I can come back next week or next month. If you would even like to just have butter chicken with your family tonight, we can make sure that you can do that." Dad had to energetically, and to be honest, quite grumpily, insist that the procedure go ahead. Dad was very ill. He was dying and had been moved to a palliative care facility a few months earlier when that became clear. He had excellent care. My mother spent hours with him every day, and he saw his grandkids regularly. He knew that he wasn't going to get better. He would never be able to play Scrabble with my mother at the kitchen table again, or walk in the woods bird watching as a citizen scientist, his favorite thing in the whole world. On top of the daily discomforts of tubes and injections, of being lifted and moved, of interventions and medical procedures, of being rushed to hospital in the middle of the night when something went wrong, my father was afraid that he would lose capacity, that it would come the moment where he would lose the ability to make choices and to understand what was happening to him. He knew he was going to die, and he wanted to do it in the bright light of day, surrounded by his family while he knew who we were, before he could be incapacitated by pain or by pain medications. He was ready to go. He didn't want to risk gasping out his last alone and afraid in the dark of the night. My middle sister and I live a long way away from my parents, and his choice meant that he knew we would be there and that he wouldn't die alone. It gave him the comfort that my mother wouldn't have to cope alone, coming home from the hospital alone to an empty house. Originally, only my mum was going to stay in the room during the procedure. But as the nurse was getting things set up, my mum gestured for us to stay. And the nurse said to me and my sisters, "Don't feel like you have to leave. This isn't going to be traumatic. Your dad will fall into the best and deepest sleep he's ever had. He'll probably even snore a bit." And that is exactly what happened. Mum climbed into the bed to cuddle him. We girls held his hand. I got to hug him. And he told us he loved us. He told us to look after my mum. And he fell asleep. He did snore a bit. It was beautiful. I wish that death for myself. I wish it for anyone who wants it for themselves. I don't mind if you would never want this choice for yourself, but please, please don't prevent other people from choosing it for themselves. We should all have the right to choose.